Joining me now is author Lauren Leader. She is the co-founder and CEO of All In Together, a nonpartisan women's civic and political organization. Good morning to both of you. Thank you so much for getting up way too early with us. And Lauren, let me start with you. This swing state polling out of Pennsylvania shows Biden up nearly 9 points, but it's really women that are driving this. Women are with him 61% to Trump's 38%. I mean, that says so much about the role that women voters are going to play in deciding who wins this election, no?
Yeah, well, women decide who wins every election because they're the majority of the electorate. And so it's enormously important. You know, we also ran polls in the last few weeks looking at women voters across the country. We oversampled the swing states, including Pennsylvania. And what we found is that Trump is leading with only one demographically small group, which is non-college educated white women on virtually every issue. With Black women, obviously, Latina women, with women under 30, he has a just enormous gender gap, but also older women. 25% of Republican women are saying that they're going to vote for Biden. Across every demographic group, Biden leads by enormous margins. But the issue continues to be this group of non-college educated white women who are overrepresented in some key states, who could have a greater role in the election than you might think. But there's no question. I mean, if women turn out anywhere near the level that they did in 2018 in the midterms, which there's a lot that indicates they will, they're hugely motivated to vote. They see their vote as essential to protecting democracy, the future of the country, their families, et cetera. If women turn out in those ways, it's going to spell big trouble for Trump.
Lauren, the reality of this coronavirus pandemic is that women are shouldering a huge amount of the burden, whether that's educating their children at home or doing more around the house because we're all living at home. And we expect Joe Biden tonight to focus on the coronavirus pandemic. We know that President Trump has tried to focus on other issues like the Supreme Court because frankly, the pandemic has been going so poorly, and we're now bracing for another wave into the winter. How do you think how these two candidates approach coronavirus on stage tonight is going to affect how women look at this race?
Well, and Susan's completely right. When you look at the, massive issues that women in the suburbs are facing right now, I mean, you just named a few of them. First of all, the crushing load of homeschooling for women across America is just, I mean, you can't go anywhere without hearing women talk about it. It is torture. It is incredibly difficult. You've got enormous economic challenges for many families, given the financial crisis that's come along with the coronavirus, and of course the fear of their kids or their family or their parents getting sick. In that context, it makes it a lot easier in some ways for Joe Biden to deflect attacks on Hunter Biden or other sort of tropes that we've heard over the years by the president trying to tar Joe Biden with all kinds of stuff. At the end of the day, Americans are worried about their health, their safety, and their welfare. And that was what we saw was such a mobilizing factor in 2018, especially for those suburban women who have the potential to just absolutely crush the president in this election. So I think Biden has a lot to work with. The issue, as Susan said, is going to be whether he can stay away from a sort of tit for tat. I mean, this is where Trump relishes his bully status, right? That he can get very aggressive, go after people in this very personal way. In the debates, we saw that in 2016. I suspect that Biden is ready for that. He's prepared. The other thing is the president seems not to have done any debate prep. So we'll see how that goes. I suspect Biden's been prepping for months. So we've seen in the past that is not favoring Trump. But, Jake Sherman said it. People are decided. This is not a debate which is going to persuade a lot of people.